What's up, guys and gals, and welcome back to our Succession game, where I, SplatterCat, as part of the NCE here at the Nerd Castle, will go through and inject entropy into AdlingtonT, Blitzkriegsler's, and Enterelysium's plans for the future. So as it stands right now, oh my god, there's things falling from space at me already. Yay, delicious space potatoes. Spotatoes, as we like to call them, where I come from. I mean, I don't know if potatoes fall from space where you're at, but where I'm at, potatoes are where it's at. So we've got a couple of logs to look at over here, but let's go over some of the things that have been done in between the episodes. You guys very likely know about these, but the downside of this Succession game is it's kind of humorous at the same time. I don't get access to any of the footage that anybody else has recorded. And so, like, there's a bunch of things that are unexplained on the map. So, for example, note the large horde of slaughtered muffalos. Why there's a large horde of slaughtered muffalos? I have no idea. But for whatever reason, somebody went on a rampage of just buffa-murder, and there it is. I mean, muffa-murder, I guess, would be the way that I would put it. But anyways, we've got this little stock of potatoes over here that have fallen from the sky and are ready for us to make use of them. I know that we've had a couple of power issues. I think Enterelysium or Adlington had said something about, like, power was being weird right now, and so we may play amateur electrician for a bit and see if we can't get that fixed. Over here, obviously, there is some strange exchange. Like, right here, this should all be connected perfectly fine to make a full circuit of electricity right here. But as you can see, like, certain doors are just, like, not powered, certain lamps are not powered, so maybe we'll fiddle with that in a little bit. I don't know. For right now, I'm just going to try and stay alive because I really don't want to be that guy that drops the ball and gets our entire colony killed. We've got a solar eclipse occurring as well, which is a little bit of a letdown. That means we're not going to be able to truly assess our power issues until a bit later. I'm going to speed the game up slightly, and we're also building cobblestones right here. I don't know if we're trying to do this over the entire inner area of our city. That's not something that I'm really privy to. I may go ahead and just do it, and we'll just say damn the consequences, and we'll have lovely, lovely, delicious stone to walk on with our presumably bare feet. I don't know. We've got a bunch of people sleeping in a cave down here, even though there's good beds and carpet over here. When I was a kid, we had carpets, and we had shag carpets. They were like 4 inches long, and you could, like, run your toesies in between them. Oh, I love that feeling. I don't know what it is, but it's like, meh. It's like, I don't know, it's like when you itch a walrus's back. I assume that the walrus would feel the same way that my feet felt when that happened. And so our bill has been completed. We're cooking meals or something. I don't know. Let's have a look over here. So we're cooking. Let's go ahead and queue that up to maybe craft 2. Might be a good plan. So maybe we'll go to the config and we'll say, I don't even remember where that was at right now. As I said, it's been like weeks since I've played this game last. Let's have a look here, and as I recall, there was a suspended, not suspended, do X, there it is, do until you have X. And so I'm going to say do until you have 25. And so there it is. And so we'll make sure that we have enough meals laying around. That may take somebody and waylay them into the job of being a chef for a long period of time, but at this point we probably want to start getting better meals into people because everybody but Hodge and Barnes is looking a little bit skinny around here. Hodge and Barnes, I don't know. They're built like manatees. I have no idea how they're putting on so much fat, even though there's not really that much food around lately. I couldn't tell you. We've got a couple people coming by. We have a slave trader from Janison Industries. And then what was this other notification here? We've got, so we've got a is that the same? I think that's probably the same solar flare. I don't know. We'll wait and see when the sun comes out and figure out what's been going on there. We've got a power issue over here. It might be worthwhile to go through and think about using the structural menu to do something like this maybe and make it a bit happier, because at the moment some weird power things going on. The connected rate is 50. I think we may not actually have enough power. So I think we only have 50 watts of power left at the moment, and so I think just about everything here is unable to deal with it. That might be where we're finding. Let me do a little experiment here. We're gonna disable all the turrets, and let's wait and see what happens. And so in disabling the turrets, I think it may. Yeah, I think we were drained out on power. I think that may be the power issue that we're facing right now. We may need to get a bunch more solar panels in, like a ton more solar panels. I think we're going to need at least like 6 or 7 of these bad boys. We still haven't built battery packs, and I'm not really sure why we haven't built battery packs, but I'm thinking that might be a project that we want to dedicate to here as well. And so I think what I'm going to do with my chain of fear, I don't know if that's something they want me to do, but I'm going to build a battery station, I think. And once we have a battery station, I think I'll go through and we'll just see. I'm going to see if I can do everybody a favor and get all the power issues sorted out before the next episode. So let me go ahead and how much metal are we rocking right now? We're rocking a decent amount of metal. We're going to need some more solar generators. And so I may make just this central area solar generators like so. We'll keep the spacing the same so that it all looks kind of nice. I don't know. Actually, no, we're not going to do that. Let's just do it like this. So we'll cancel both of these. And the first thing I'm going to do is we will go to our structural menu. Is this smooth stone or what is this? Stone tiles? Okay. I just wanted to make sure I was doing the right thing. And then we'll go down with stone tiles. We've got plenty of stone blocks to work with. We'll go ahead and start filling in some of this space right here. There it is. And once that's been all done and handled, what we'll then go ahead and do is we'll jump through and we'll put in like maybe 4 more of these right here. The thing you want to be careful about is you want to make sure these are accessible from the majority of directions so that if you end up getting a fire or anything like that, I probably don't need to tell you this, but you can actually have your guys, they don't have fire extinguishers or anything. They actually headbutt the fires to death. That's how they get them to go away. And so because we can't actually project a headbutt like a ranged weapon, unfortunately what we have to do is make sure that these are exposed from all angles so that if there's a fire or an explosion, we can actually get in there and put the fires out. So we're going to put one right there, and we're going to space them by onesies. And so there's 2 more that we can play around with. And furthermore, I would like to have 6 up by the end of this, but because we have the surplus running now, the connected rate is 2200, so we've actually got, let me make sure here, connected rate 2200. Alright, so I think we should be automagical right now. Visitors from Clown's Village are leaving. It doesn't look like they're leaving. They're running around in front of our walls with a horde of boom rats. I don't know if the boom rats chased them here, but not going to think about it too heavily. Hard thinking, one of those things I try to avoid. I know that's going to drive some people crazy, but my brain can't be taxed with it right now. I'm running on ketones at the moment. I think what I'm going to do is, where do I want to put these batteries would be my next question. Well, I think where I would like to put the batteries, well, I don't want to put them right here. I was going to put a little building right here, but what I'm worried about is if it explodes, it'll take out the wall, and then enemies can just, like, walk into our base. Instead, I think the wiser choice might be to get some metal out of this in the first place. Let's go ahead and go to our mining menu. And what we'll do here is we'll take these down to sort of the ends, like so. And then we'll just make ourselves a little battery room here, I think. Not too large, not too small. We'll go ahead and do that right there. And then what I'll probably do is I'll have it connect through this wall right here. So we need this to go away too. So we'll get rid of that. And then we'll put in metal walls right here. Once that's all nice and done and taken care of, we should be able to start storing up some electricity. Now, I could be totally... There are things that Enterelysium and Blitzkriegsler, they play this game a lot more than I do, that they may be privy to as to why we may not want batteries, and in fact, they may have explained it in like a previous episode. I could be 100% acting the fool right now, but as far as I know, batteries work out great for me, and considering we have all these solar flares going on and everything, and from what I've seen, it actually deactivates our defense grid, we probably want to make sure, I'm going to slow the game down slightly, we probably want to make sure that in the future, we end up with... We're getting a lot of metal out of this anyway, so we want to make sure that we have a surplus power supply, just to make sure that no terrible things happen based on happenstance and RNG. And so there it is, we've got ourselves, the metal walls are now in. And what we'll try to do now is I'm not going to put... Do we have a cave in just now? What was that? The screen just shook. I felt like if I had a rumble pack plugged in, I would have actually like been notified of something just now, but should probably get rid of all these beds down here too to force everybody to sleep in these rooms. I mean, I'm not trying to be that guy, but I don't think these excess beds are really going to be that useful. I mean, I could do a head count right now. It looks like we've got probably like 10 people, 11 people running around. I don't know. It's either or. Either way, we've got a 1 involved somewhere. And so I am thinking that our best option here... Let's go to buildings and let's get some batteries going. Now these are going to be, they're going to need to be connected to a conduit somewhere. Which is kind of the risky part about this whole thing. And I think what I'll probably do is arrange these, actually no, let's arrange, I forget the way that I would like to, there's a specific way you're supposed to arrange these and I'm unfortunately forgetting what it is. That's going to blow up that wall, so I don't want to do that either. Well then, if I do this wrong, they might charge me with battery. I know, terrible jokes. That's what happens at the Nerd Castle all day, every day. That's how we do it, son. I think we're gonna, let's wipe out this entire wall and we'll just run metal the whole way. It's not the most metal efficient plan, but we're getting enough metal out of the walls to cover the cost, so we'll go ahead and do it. And then once we've got that going, we've got another cluster of cargo pods, which, oh, they fell in the middle of our base. Luckily they didn't strike anybody about the head and neck. That would suck. Just get nailed in the head by a brick from space. You'd figure that some deity would have to have it out for you once that happens. There's no way you couldn't assume that. You'd be like, yep, I pissed off somebody. I don't know if I like peed on a rat or something the last time I went out to the bathroom in the middle of the night, but karma definitely was not feeling me. Now they are all refusing to sleep indoors. Those are still on, so yeah, I think it's batteries that we're lacking right now. It looks like a local boom rat has gone mad. It is now attacking everybody around that it can get its eyes on. Don't really care about that. It has chosen to fight with Hodge. Hodge, shoot the boom rat in the face. Yeah, there it is. Point blank Daka. That's what we like to see. And so now she's going to finish it off with a 1-2 punch. Well, a 1-2 shot. I guess a 1-2-8 shot. I don't know. She's fired like 10 rounds now. How are you going to miss at point blank range? Like, really? Come on, Hodge. Come on, Hodge. Think, for realsies. There we are. And so we're all done here. Hodge has slain yet another member of the rodent species. The rodent genus or something. A group of Clowns Village people are visiting the colony. Everybody line up for pointing and laughing. Line up. I don't know if they're hanging out in this little house over here or what they're doing, but oh, that's a pretty big fire right there. That fire is definitely not messing around. That fire knows its business and it's just pulling an usher and it's just saying let it burn. Well, hopefully it goes out pretty soon because it should start to rain. The game has an inherent system where if there's too much fire around, it starts raining. These guys aren't going to try and murder me, right? Like, I'm really hoping they're quite armed, so I'm really sort of just relying on the fact that they're not going to try and murder me now. Let's get back to what we were supposed to be doing here. And I'm going to go to the structural menu. We are going to grab a metal wall. We're going to put one in right there. And then for the remainder, we're just going to run it like so. And then once that has been run, what I think I'll probably do is let's run a conduit to there, like so. And we'll just sort of figure this out as we run along. I mean, this is not going to be the most efficient of deployments. I can virtually promise you that. Largely, I just kind of want it away from the walls so it doesn't blow things up. And for now, I think that the designation of 8 batteries should get us by for a bit. And so we could get away with a few more up here. We also need to put in doors, so let's go ahead and go to our building menu. We'll throw in a couple of doors right there. One of the things I've always loved about Rimworld, the doors face in the right direction. I can't tell you how many building games I've played where the doors just don't snap in the right way, and you're just like, I'm filled with rage. And when you're sitting around being frustrated about doors for more than, 12 seconds a day, I feel as though it's really something that you need to remedy before it gets worse. I'm going to deconstruct some of these beds. Let's go ahead and get rid of a couple of them. Force everybody to sleep up in here because there's plenty of room, so I don't see... And I'm not trying to be punny right there. I mean, there are plenty of rooms and there's plenty of room. But anyways, my joke there is not to say that... Or I guess not to make light of the fact that we do indeed have rooms, but instead that there is room available and they should be making use of it because somebody went to all the trouble to construct it, so why not get it on in there? You know what I mean? That door should allow both of these conduits to be powered. There it is. I don't know if these are going to be filling up at any sort of real rate, but we can try. Okay, and so we're doing all right now. I don't know if this is actually going to benefit us in the long term, but as of right now, I do think that this is probably going to help out in the future, because I know I had heard a couple people during the course of the Succession playthrough just be like, yeah, power's being weird right now, we should probably get on that, and so I figured I would make it my duty while I'm here, even though I've already, well, we're not going to go there. Never mind, we're going to waylay that joke. So we're going to disband all of those. I feel as though all of my endeavors for this episode have been taken care of in a suitable fashion. We've got a bunch of stones laying around, so I think I'm just going to go for a bunch more stone tiles laying around. And I'll just see if I can't get that done. I think that's going to be my big contribution to today. So let's go ahead and we'll put in some more stone blocks, and we'll make sure like this entire area is just looking nice and sexy before we go any further. I don't think we're going to need any more stone anyways, so nothing to worry about there. A group from... Okay, never mind. We don't want that. I think we're looking pretty good right now. I definitely think we're looking... I'm pretty impressed, to be honest. Every time I get this Succession game back, I'm always a little bit worried about where it's gonna be. And it's not that I don't have faith in the other players, it's just Randy Random is very random. I mean, Randy Random can be very difficult to play with, and it's nice to see that we've had a really good run without a bunch of terrible things happening. So I think we're pretty much relegated to just doing simple tasks right now. Getting rid of those beds has indeed guaranteed that people are going to be sleeping up in here. And I think our next goal is going to be able to, or it's going to be to make a secondary sleeping quarters around somewhere. Now this is a 3-block right here, so conceivably we could make another sleeping quarters right up in here that other people could make use of, but until we have more people who are available, whatever. What happens if we call another village? Let's call somebody. Just be like, hey, what are you guys doing? We can give 300 silver for 10 goodwill. Interesting. They aren't feeling a whole lot of goodwill for us right now. Apparently we've been just peeing in the collective Cheerios for a while. Social skill is 6. Okay, well, who else doesn't like us? We can call Olga of the Desert, even though, from what I understand, they're a bunch of cavemen. The Olga of the Desert representative hurls some epithets into the monitor, then disconnects. Oh, well. That's not very nice. I'm trying to make peace right here, man. I realize that you're a bunch of troglodytes who can't master even the most simple of technologies. Like, pointy stick is about the best your culture has ever done. But you really don't need to mess with me like this. I mean, I'm trying to help you. You could come join up with us. We could share loincloth tips. We could be like, yeah, sometimes I like to make my loincloth out of like a hexagonal pattern because I feel like it gives me better genital coverage. And you would be like, oh, that's pretty cool. I feel like the technology of my culture has advanced a little bit. I'm totally going to make use of this. I'm so glad that there's someone nearby that cares about keeping my genitals covered. And I'd be like, yeah, that's definitely, if you're going to come into our civilized society, let's keep that thing covered. I know it seems a little puritanical to you guys because we don't share the same background, but you know what? We're trying to recreate it's a city on a hill here. That's how we're going to do it. It's a city on a hill. Now that I'm done with that ridiculous diatribe, a local squirrel has gone mad and is attacking everyone that it sees, namely Isodora. Well, Isodora has used the power of her ridiculous pink hair gel to beat the squirrel to death and then relieve herself of a terrible situation and being surrounded by rodentia. And so I think what I'm going to do now is let's queue up a few more. Oh, we've used up too much stone. How are we doing with that stone queue? As I understand, there should be a stonecutter's table around here somewhere. Just make stone blocks forever. Okay, so I should probably leave them to do that. I'm just going to hang out for a little bit then, and we're just going to watch things sort of unfold. I don't know why they would begin folded, but apparently they began folded. So we're going to wait for them to crinkle open all on their own. And once they have done so... What is this? Okay, another boom rat. Nothing to worry about. And so once that's been handled... I'm going to allow this to get a little bit higher, like maybe get our stone back up to maybe 800 or 900 before I put in the next round of just lovely, lovely stone tiles. Looking like a badass kind of techno castle in here right now. I like how the walls are metal, but the floors are made out of cobbles. Love it. Making me feel very, very badass. And so now we're surviving off of our power grid, which we don't have enough power being drawn right now. I would look for new solutions. Something to think about. I mean, we do have another thermal generator down there. I don't think it's going to be enough. So instead, what I would say is we're probably going to have to swap over to almost 100%. And I forgot to connect these to the grid. That's the other problem. That's what I forgot to do. Let's go ahead and connect these to the grid right now. There we are. And now that those have been connected, we should... God... Terrible, absolutely terrible. That explains why nothing was filling up at the rate I needed it to. So then other things we need to do, we're pretty much square as hell on metals, so I might as well build a couple more solar generators out here just to make sure everything remains nice and sexy awesome. And that should be more than enough, I think. Did somebody just get shot? I thought I heard a gunshot for a second. I don't know. Maybe it's the Western music that's playing, but it's... Oh, they're trying to shoot the boomerang, and they're also shooting ray gun with a ray gun. Oh, the cruel irony. Oh, the cruel irony. Luckily, it's raining, so we don't have to worry about it any longer. We have so many supplies right now. Like, I really have no concept of... We're still hanging out around uranium, which is just a terrible idea. I'm going to tell you guys a story that if you're new to the channel, so if you're coming here from any of the other channels that are involved with this collab, you will not have heard it. I apologize, though, to any of the Nerd Castle members if you've heard it already, but I'm going to tell it again, damn it. So anyways, I'm a geology major. I'm actually graduating in like 4 days. By the time you see this, I will probably already be graduated. And so, we found out they did like every couple years, like every 10 years at a university, you have to do like a safety scan where a government agency comes in and they take a look around and they try to make sure that the campus is safe. Well, we had one of those, and they found that the Geiger counter that they brought in was going off the rails when they got into the geology department. Well, it turns out like 50 years ago, one of the geology teachers had, oh my god, there's agave falling from the sky. All right, everyone, get ready. We have an agave surplus. Everybody needs to get on that tequila right now so we can get nice and shit-faced. But anyways, they found out that in a little lead box in the corner of our rock storage room, there was a big-ass hunk of uranium, which was just sitting there decaying. Where it came from, it was logged in by one of the professors from like 40 years ago, one of the emeritus professors or whatever, who is now long dead. I mean, he is definitely worm food at this point. Apparently, he dropped off uranium in our rock storage room and then was just like, and then didn't ever tell anybody or conceivably think that it would be leaking radiation all over the place and making us all sterile and making us grow third eyes. I mean, I got superpowers while I was in college, so it went positively for me, but another guy, his foot turned into a flipper, and having one foot and one flipper, I mean, it just doesn't work. There is no way for that biologically to be compatible. He's bad at walking, he's bad at swimming. It works out for nobody. It just sucks all around. It is no funsies. So anyways, moral of the story, if you're gonna log in some uranium, maybe you should tell somebody about it, or at least like get something better than a little lead box sealed with a padlock to put it in. I mean, you know. It cost the campus, it cost them like $87,000 to have it disposed of. A colonist needs rescue. What? John, what in the hell? Why is this silver unflagged? That's way too far outside the base. John is probably not going to get rescue. I think what I can do... Let's get Nikki and everybody out here. I can't guarantee they're going to make it, though. We can try. We can go for it. I suppose I'll have Nikki rescue John. And then we've got a cluster of cargo pods once again falling. Oh, that's the one we had already. And we have Jennifer Rudabag, who apparently is a slave trader. I could kind of round out our forces right now by buying a couple slaves and having them join us, but I think I'll hold off on it for now. Our silver supplies are not so massive that I feel as though it'll be safe to do so. I'm going to have Yos melee attack the boom rat while Nikki goes and saves our dear friend over here. He should be able to finish it off. The boom rat, oh my god, the boom rat must have jumped him then. I don't know what happened. The boom rat was apparently incredibly vicious. So you go back to whence you came. Hopefully he doesn't bleed out before we get there. The rescue has been joined, and things have gone very, very well. The rescue mission is successful. Now, if he can avoid doing anything stupid, like walking through the middle of a fire... Oh, he's still losing health. Well, he may bleed to death long before we ever get back to base. Always a distinct possibility. You're leaking, man. You are leaking your fluids everywhere. Local squirrel has gone mad and is attacking everybody. Hopefully... Why is there just a random tray of dinner just sitting out here? Just craft dinner out in the middle of a field. Who even knows? Sometimes with Rimworldians, it's just hard to tell. I'm getting the feeling he's probably going to need a doctor. I've seen him flicker at least 8 times on the way back, which means he's going to be at about 13 or 15, 16 health. I don't know. I didn't look to see what it was before. It was around 25-ish, though. So there he is. John survives just barely, so yeah. Do we have anybody assigned to a doctor? Okay, we got a couple of people ready to doctor. Fantastic. Well, it looks like just about everything has been covered. I mean, everything's looking good in the base. We're making ourselves some more stone here and there. We're dealing with vicious rabid squirrels, but nothing beyond the pale. I mean, every now and again in this playthrough, I'm always terrified that I'm going to get one of those giant invasions from one of the neighboring cities. Luckily enough, though, it just doesn't seem to happen, so I guess we'll just kind of hang out and do our thing. I'm going to sell the remainder of these beds. And health is back up to 18. Definitely going to need somebody to doctor him, that's for sure. Are you serious right now, Heath? Like, who fires into melee combat? Who does that? I'm also a little bit concerned that, like, nobody is auto-attacking this thing. There we go. No, don't drop your gun. There we go. Awesome. It looks like she's got kind of a... I don't know where she got that cardigan from. I mean, everybody's wearing cardigans. M has one. He must be like the local hipster. He's like, my name is M. You know, I have a comb-over that persists throughout all adventures. You never know when you're going to need a comb-over. It comes in handy, dude. And we've got some more agave hanging out here. It appears that Randy Random is deciding to be a very benevolent deity as he's dropping food all over the place for us. Let's talk to the slave trader right now and see what we can wrangle out of this. So she's got a mid-world chef, a digger, and an herb world politician. Let's go ahead and I love Rush, so I'm going to buy Rush. What a great band. And so we're going to have Rush. And I don't know if he just like drops in or if he's like automatically one of us or how this works. Oh, cool. It looks like he just jumps straight in and he becomes one of us instantaneously. That was my first interaction with a slave trader. Didn't have slave traders last time I played. At least I've never seen one in the 40, 50 hours I played of the beta version from like 2 or 3 ago. But anyways, everything's looking pretty good right now. I believe that this might be a good place to break off the episode. My name is SplatterCat. Thank you for joining me at the Nerd Castle for the next game in our Succession Rimworld game on Randy Random between me, Blitzkriegsler, AdlingtonT, and Enterelysium. I'll have all of their information down in the comments below so that you can follow the series. Additionally, I will make sure that at the end of each episode it links back to their channel so that you guys can check out their content. Hopefully it'll be linked over here from there so we have like a nice sexy circuit of just people flowing around watching the game. I look forward to seeing you guys in the 12th episode. Take care out there everybody, and as always, hi do.